Rami had always dreamed of exploring new worlds. Even on the human colony of Arden, where life was safe but routine, he felt the pull of something beyond the horizon. The colony was built on the edge of the Valaris system, a cluster of planets with strange magnetic storms and uncharted terrain. Rami worked as an engineer, responsible for maintaining the communication relays that connected Arden to Earth. He liked the work, but it did not excite him in the same way as discovery. One morning, Rami was called to the outer edge of the colony. A new relay had been installed on a small planet previously considered too unstable for human exploration. His orders were simple: check the relay, repair any malfunctions, and report back. The journey to the planet was short in time but long in tension. The transport shuttle shivered as it entered the planet's thin atmosphere, and Rami's stomach twisted with anticipation. As he stepped out of the shuttle, Rami was struck by the alien beauty of the landscape. The ground was soft but firm, covered in luminous moss that glowed faintly in green and blue hues. Towering rock formations twisted like sculptures, and a pale violet sky stretched above him. Strange clouds drifted across the horizon, carrying a faint electric hum that made the air feel alive. Rami moved toward the relay station, checking his equipment carefully. He knew the area was uncharted, but he had no reason to expect company. Yet as he walked along a ridge, he saw something unusual. A figure emerged from behind one of the rock spires. At first he thought it was a trick of light, but then the figure moved with deliberate grace. The being was unlike anything Rami had ever seen. She was tall and slender, with smooth skin that shimmered faintly in the sunlight. Her eyes glowed softly, reflecting the strange colors of the planet. She did not speak at first, only observed him with an expression of curiosity and caution. Rami froze, unsure if he should retreat or approach. The alien woman took a step forward and held out her hand. Her fingers were long and delicate, and a faint warmth radiated from her palm. Rami hesitated, and she spoke in a voice that was soft but clear. It was broken English, but he could understand the words. "Choosing you is forbidden," she said. Rami's heart pounded. He had never heard anyone speak these words before, and yet her voice carried a weight that made him feel both fear and wonder. I don't understand," he said carefully. She shook her head slightly as if to explain more. Her eyes, glowing softly, held an emotion he could not name. It was fear and longing, hope and warning all at once. She repeated her words, firmer this time. "Choosing you is forbidden." Rami swallowed hard, unsure what to say. The being before him was clearly intelligent, capable of thought and communication, and yet she seemed to be holding herself back. He noticed the way her hand remained extended, almost as if she were trying to connect with him despite the danger. Why are you here?" Rami asked. She hesitated and then stepped closer. The air between them seemed charged with energy. The glow in her eyes brightened as she answered, "I cannot stay. My people forbid this, but I cannot let go." Rami felt a strange warmth at her words. He could sense that she was not just speaking about her people, but about him personally. It was as if her presence had broken through the normal rules of the universe, creating a moment suspended in time. The two of them stood there, hand to hand, studying each other. Rami noticed the way her skin seemed to shift with the colors of the moss and rocks around them. He felt a deep sense of awe. He also felt fear. He did not know what consequences might come from this encounter, but he could not turn away. Suddenly, a faint sound echoed through the rocky terrain. Rami's sensors had picked up no one else, but the sound grew louder, like footsteps approaching. The alien woman's eyes widened and she pulled slightly back, still keeping her hand near his. "They are coming," she whispered. Rami's mind raced. He had read about alien patrols in old reports, but he had never expected to face one himself. "Who?" he asked, his voice steady even as his heart pounded. "My people," she said. "They cannot see me here. If they find me with you, it will be dangerous." Rami nodded, understanding immediately that her warning was serious. He knew he could not leave her alone, not when she had trusted him enough to reveal herself. "Then we need to move," he said. She hesitated, glancing back at the ridge where the shadows of the rocks grew longer. Then, without letting go of his hand, she led him along a narrow path. The moss under their feet glowed faintly, illuminating the way. Rami realized that the path twisted in ways he had not expected, as if the planet itself was guiding them. As they moved, he learned more about her people. She spoke slowly, carefully, revealing fragments of her life. She had been trained to maintain order and discipline, and interactions with humans were strictly forbidden, but she had grown curious, and curiosity had led her to this forbidden contact. Rami listened, fascinated. The alien woman's perspective was unlike anything he had encountered. She spoke of rules that governed her society, rules that seemed harsh to him, but rules that she had respected until now. Yet standing here with him, she could not follow them fully. Their journey led them to a hidden valley, a natural enclosure surrounded by high rock walls. The valley was filled with glowing plants and a gentle stream that reflected the sky. Rami realized they had found a place of safety, at least for the moment. They sat by the stream, still holding hands. Neither spoke for a long time. Rami marveled at the silence, at the way her presence made the alien world feel less frightening and more alive. She studied him too, as if trying to decide how much trust she could place in him. Finally, she spoke again, her voice barely above a whisper. "You are different. Humans are unpredictable." "My people do not allow this," Rami smiled faintly. "I am unpredictable," he said. "But I am not dangerous unless you choose to see me that way." She tilted her head, studying him. Her eyes reflected the stream's light, and he thought he saw something like hope flicker within them. I cannot let go," she said again. The words felt like a promise. Rami understood that this simple act, holding her hand, was an act of defiance, of courage, and of trust. He squeezed her hand gently, conveying that he would not abandon her no matter the danger. Suddenly, the distant sound of movement reminded them that time was limited. Her people were nearby, and she needed to return before she was discovered. Rami realized that this encounter was not just a meeting of two beings, but a turning point that could change everything for both of them. As the first part of the day faded into the violet dusk, Rami and the alien woman stood together in the valley. They both knew the path ahead would be difficult, filled with dangers and impossible choices. Yet in that moment they shared a connection that went beyond rules, beyond fear, and beyond the known boundaries of their worlds. Rami felt a surge of determination. He would not let her face this alone, and as he looked into her glowing eyes, he realized that the universe was far bigger and more beautiful than he had ever imagined. The moment ended with a silent understanding. Whatever came next, they would face it together, hand in hand. The galaxy held many secrets, and their story was only beginning. Rami and the alien woman, whose name he now learned was Zara, remained in the hidden valley for the rest of the day. They sat beside the glowing stream, watching its light dance across the rocks. The silence was comforting, but both of them felt the weight of what lay ahead. They could not stay long, for Zara's people would surely notice her absence if she lingered too much. Rami broke the silence first. "Zara, I want to understand. Why is it forbidden for you to meet humans?" Zara hesitated. Her glowing eyes dimmed slightly as she spoke. "Our people live by strict rules. We cannot form bonds with outsiders. It is not only dangerous for me, it could endanger my world. Humans are not like us. You are unpredictable. You could change things that should remain the same." Rami nodded slowly, trying to absorb her words. "But here you are with me. That means something must be different. You chose to come anyway." Zara's gaze softened, and she squeezed his hand gently. "I did not choose lightly. Every choice has consequences. My heart, it does not obey the rules. That is why I cannot let go of your hand." Rami felt a strange warmth at her words. He realized that her bond with him was not only emotional but also symbolic. Her hand-holding was a defiance of rigid laws, yet it was also a plea for trust. Suddenly, a faint vibration ran through the ground. Rami immediately sensed danger. He turned his head toward the ridge that led out of the valley. A group of figures was approaching. Their movements were precise and coordinated, unlike the unpredictable wildlife of the planet. "They are coming," Zara whispered, her voice tight with tension. Rami's mind raced. "Who are they exactly?" "My people's enforcers," she said. "They watch for any forbidden contact. If they find me with a human, they will take me back and punish both of us. You must not be seen." Rami's heart beat faster, but he knew there was no choice. He had to help her. "Where can we go?" he asked. Zara thought quickly and led him along a narrow path that twisted through glowing moss and towering rock formations. The terrain was treacherous, but she moved with a grace that Rami could barely match. He stumbled several times but kept pace, determined not to leave her behind. As they ran, Zara explained more about her people. She told him that their society had strict hierarchies and codes. Obedience was prized above all else. Contact with humans was forbidden because humans had a history of exploring, conquering, and sometimes destroying planets they visited. Her people had learned to fear what humans might bring, even if humans themselves were not dangerous. Rami listened closely. He had always believed humans were brave and resourceful, but hearing it from an outsider's perspective made him realize how humans could also be seen as unpredictable and risky. Yet despite the danger, Zara had chosen to connect with him. The path led them to a narrow canyon where the light from the valley above barely reached. Rami felt a chill as he looked at the shadows dancing across the walls. He realized they were being hunted, but he also noticed how Zara's confidence seemed to guide them. Her hand remained on his, a constant anchor in the uncertainty around them. Suddenly, one of the enforcers appeared ahead, blocking their path. Rami froze, unsure how to proceed. The enforcer was tall, armored, and moved with a precision that spoke of intense training. Zara's eyes glowed brighter and she whispered urgently, "Follow me and do exactly as I say." She led him along a narrow ledge above the enforcer, carefully balancing on the edge of the cliff. Rami's stomach lurched with each step, but he trusted her completely. The enforcer did not notice them at first, focused on searching the canyon floor. Once they were out of immediate danger, Zara led him to a hidden crevice where they could rest. Rami caught his breath, trying to steady his racing heart. "That was close," he said. Zara nodded. "Too close. They will not stop looking. You must understand, human, this is not just a game. If they catch me, it will change everything for both our worlds." Rami realized the gravity of the situation. He had faced dangerous situations before, but never one that involved the life of someone as extraordinary as Zara. He squeezed her hand, trying to communicate that he would not abandon her. As night fell, the valley took on an otherworldly beauty. The glowing moss and plants illuminated the terrain like a natural lantern. Rami marveled at the colors, but he also kept an eye out for any movement. Even in this moment of calm, the threat of the enforcers loomed. Zara spoke softly, breaking the silence. "There is a human outpost on the far side of this planet. It is hidden from my people. If we can reach it, we may find safety, at least for a short time." Rami nodded. "Then we will go there. I will help you." The journey to the outpost was long and perilous. They crossed rocky plains, leapt over glowing streams, and navigated forests of alien flora that seemed almost alive. Rami was amazed by Zara's knowledge of the terrain. She moved with certainty, as if the planet itself recognized her and allowed her passage. Along the way, they encountered small hazards. Strange creatures with translucent bodies skittered across the rocks. Magnetic storms created unpredictable electric fields, forcing them to take shelter under large spires. Rami learned quickly that survival depended on observation, quick thinking, and trust in each other. During one pause, they sat beside a glowing pool of water. Zara dipped her fingers into the water and it reacted to her touch, sending ripples of light across the surface. She looked at Rami and smiled faintly. "Even this planet responds to those who are patient and careful. Humans are strong, but you must learn to listen to more than sight and sound. Feel the world around you." Rami tried to mimic her movements, placing his hand into the water. The glow reacted to his touch too, and he felt a strange sense of connection to the planet. It was as if the land itself approved of their journey. They traveled through the night, and by morning the human outpost came into view. It was small and camouflaged, built to blend with the surrounding rocks and moss. Rami felt relief wash over him, but he also knew that their journey was far from over. Safety here was temporary. Zara led him inside the outpost. It was quiet, sparsely furnished but functional. Communication devices hummed faintly in the background. Humans had built it as a research station, unaware of how close they were to discovering something extraordinary. Rami set down his equipment and looked at Zara. "We made it. At least for now, you are safe." Zara nodded, but her expression was troubled. "It is not enough. My people will not stop searching. They will come here if they discover my location. We must plan what to do next." Rami felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. He had not only been chosen to maintain a relay station, but now he was part of a larger story, one that could affect entire worlds. Over the next few hours, they discussed their options. Zara explained more about her people's rules, the enforcers, and the dangers humans could unintentionally bring. Rami shared his knowledge of technology, survival tactics, and human ingenuity. Together, they began to form a plan that relied on both his skills and her knowledge. Zara looked at him with an expression that was both grateful and fearful. "You are different from the humans I have observed before. You are brave yet careful. You think beyond yourself." Rami smiled faintly. "I think we make a good team. Your people may have rules, but I believe trust and cooperation are stronger than fear." She held his hand firmly. "I hope you are right. I cannot let go of this hand. It is not just a choice for me, it is a promise. A promise that I will try, despite the danger, to protect you as you protect me." Rami felt a warmth spread through him. He realized that this journey was no longer just about survival. It was about connection, courage, and hope. Together, they would face whatever came next, hand in hand. The part ended with them standing at the edge of the outpost, looking at the alien landscape beyond. The valley, the glowing moss, and the distant mountains stretched out before them. Danger was still near, but for the first time, Rami felt a sense of purpose. He was not alone, and neither was Zara. They knew the enforcers would come. They knew the journey ahead would be filled with peril. But they also knew that trust, courage, and determination could carry them further than fear ever could. And so, together, they prepared for the challenges to come, ready to face a universe that was far bigger and more mysterious than either of them had imagined. The morning light filtered into the hidden human outpost, casting soft shadows across the walls. Rami and Zara had spent the night planning, but rest had been minimal. The knowledge that the enforcers were still searching weighed heavily on both of them. Outside, the alien landscape glowed faintly under the twin suns, a reminder that beauty and danger coexisted in equal measure. Zara stood by the entrance, her eyes scanning the horizon. "We cannot stay here long," she said. "They will find this place if they continue to search. We must move quickly to reach the safe zone." Rami nodded, packing his equipment carefully. "Lead the way," he said. "I will follow." As they stepped outside, Rami felt the thrill of the unknown. The path ahead was unfamiliar, winding through rocky plains and forests of alien flora. Zara moved with confidence, guiding him through the twisting terrain. She paused occasionally, listening to the sounds of the planet, and Rami realized that she was in tune with everything around her. The subtle vibrations of the ground, the faint hum of the wind, and the rustle of unseen creatures. They moved swiftly, keeping to hidden paths that avoided open areas. Rami noticed how her hand remained on his, a constant reassurance. It was not only a gesture of connection, but also a lifeline in a world full of unpredictable threats. After several hours, the landscape changed. The glowing moss and towering rocks gave way to jagged cliffs and narrow canyons. Rami's heart raced as they navigated the terrain. Every step required careful attention. One misstep could send them tumbling into a crevice or alert an approaching patrol. Suddenly, Zara stopped. She raised her hand, signaling him to be silent. From a distance, Rami could see the shapes of alien patrols moving methodically across the plains. They were heavily armored and carried devices that emitted faint pulses of light. Rami realized that these enforcers were not just searching. They were scanning, analyzing the land for any signs of life or disturbance. Zara took a deep breath and whispered, "We must take the ridge above them. It is risky, but it is our only chance." Rami followed her carefully. The ridge was narrow and steep. Loose rocks threatened to give way underfoot, but Zara moved confidently, guiding him step by step. They climbed silently, relying on balance, trust, and the subtle cues of the terrain. Halfway along the ridge, Rami stumbled on a loose stone. He caught himself quickly, but the sound echoed faintly across the canyon below. Zara's glowing eyes met his, and she whispered, "Focus, breathe, you are with me. We will succeed." He steadied himself and continued. Each step felt like a test of endurance and courage. The enforcers below continued their search, unaware of the two figures above them. Rami marveled at Zara's ability to navigate the ridge with such precision. Her knowledge of her planet's dangers was extraordinary, and he realized how much humans could learn from her. After what felt like hours, they reached a safe ledge overlooking a vast valley. The valley was filled with strange glowing plants, and a river of liquid light flowed through it. Rami's eyes widened at the sight. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. Zara looked at him and smiled faintly. "We are close to the hidden sanctuary. Few humans know of it, and fewer aliens dare approach it. There we can rest and plan our next move." As they descended into the valley, the journey became easier. The terrain was gentler, and the glow from the plants provided natural light. Rami noticed that the valley seemed almost alive. The plants reacted to their presence, shifting colors as they moved past. Even the water in the river seemed to shimmer more brightly when they approached. They followed the river for several hours, eventually reaching a small enclave hidden among large crystal formations. The sanctuary was well concealed and appeared untouched by the enforcers. Rami felt a wave of relief. For the first time in their journey, they could pause without the immediate threat of capture. Zara led him to a small cave where they could rest. She examined the area carefully, scanning for any signs of danger. Once satisfied, she allowed herself to relax. Rami noticed a softness in her demeanor, a rare glimpse of vulnerability. "You are remarkable," he said quietly. "Your knowledge, your courage. It amazes me." Zara looked at him, her glowing eyes reflecting both gratitude and concern. "I am not invincible," she said. "I have made mistakes before. But you are human. You think differently. That is why I trust you." Rami smiled faintly. "Then we will continue together, no matter what comes next." The next few days were a careful balance of movement and rest. They traveled through forests filled with bioluminescent trees and crossed rivers where the water seemed to carry tiny sparks of energy. Along the way, Zara taught Rami how to observe the planet, to feel its rhythms and understand its dangers before they became threats. Rami learned quickly. He discovered that patience, observation, and adaptability were just as important as courage. He also realized that human ingenuity, when combined with Zara's knowledge, could overcome challenges that might seem impossible alone. One evening, as they rested beside a glowing waterfall, Zara spoke of her people's traditions. "Our society values obedience and order above all. Choosing outside what is allowed is considered a grave offense, yet I feel that rules cannot always contain what is right." Rami listened, captivated. "Sometimes courage means defying rules. Sometimes it means trusting someone when it is dangerous. You chose to trust me, Zara. That is brave." She smiled softly. "And you chose to follow me. That is brave as well. Together we are stronger than alone. That is why I cannot let go of your hand." As they continued their journey, they encountered a small alien settlement. At first, the inhabitants seemed wary and suspicious, but Zara's presence reassured them. She communicated with gestures and soft words, explaining their journey and the danger that followed. To Rami's surprise, some of these aliens offered assistance. They provided safe shelter for the night and shared food that glowed faintly under the valley's light. Rami realized that not all of Zara's people were aligned with the enforcers. Some understood the importance of choice, trust, and courage, and were willing to aid those who acted with honor. The following day, Rami and Zara continued toward the sanctuary's central valley, where the human outpost could not reach. The terrain grew more challenging. Jagged cliffs rose like teeth, and storms of electric energy crackled across the sky. Each step tested their resolve and their ability to work together. During a particularly treacherous passage, a sudden magnetic storm swept through the cliffs. Rami felt his equipment and even his body pulled slightly by the storm's energy. He struggled to maintain balance, but Zara's steady hand kept him anchored. "Hold on to me," she said. "Do not let fear guide you. Trust in what we can do together." With careful steps and precise timing, they navigated the storm. Rami felt a deep sense of awe at her courage and skill. She did not just survive the planet, she mastered it, guiding him through dangers he could not have faced alone. By the end of the third day, they reached a plateau overlooking the sanctuary. It was hidden among high cliffs and thick foliage, invisible from the skies above. Rami felt relief and wonder at the sight. The sanctuary was more than a place of refuge. It was a symbol of what humans and aliens could achieve together. A safe place built on trust, courage, and collaboration. Zara turned to him, her eyes glowing softly in the twilight. "We have made it this far. But this is only the beginning. The enforcers will not stop searching. We must prepare for what comes next. And you have learned much, human. You have the courage to face more than you thought possible." Rami nodded. "I will not let you face it alone. Together we can handle whatever comes next." For the first time, Rami realized that this journey was not just about survival. It was about proving that humans and aliens could overcome fear, mistrust, and danger by working together. The challenges ahead would test their courage, their skill, and their bond. But he felt ready. As they settled for the night in the sanctuary, the alien world stretched before them, glowing with life and mystery. Rami held Zara's hand, feeling the warmth and strength that had carried them this far. Together, they were no longer just two beings on a dangerous planet. They were partners in a journey that could change everything. The part ended with a sense of hope, courage, and anticipation. Danger was still near, but so was possibility. The universe was vast, but Rami and Zara were learning that together, they could navigate its challenges, face its mysteries, and create a connection that defied rules, fear, and expectation. Rami and Zara had been traveling for days through the sanctuary, learning to rely on each other in every step. The journey had brought them closer, and their connection had strengthened in ways neither had expected. Yet they knew the greatest challenge lay ahead. They were approaching the Alien Council, the ruling body of Zara's people. There she would be forced to make a choice, one that could change her life and the future of both species. The council's chamber was hidden within a massive cavern, its walls lined with crystalline structures that reflected light in hundreds of colors. The air was thick with energy, a hum that vibrated through the ground and resonated in Rami's chest. As they entered, figures emerged from the shadows. They were tall and imposing, with glowing eyes and garments that shimmered like liquid metal. Rami felt a surge of fear, but Zara's grip on his hand steadied him. "Zara," the lead council member said, her voice like a musical chime, "you have disobeyed the rules. You have chosen a human. Explain yourself." Zara stepped forward, her posture straight and proud. "I have chosen not out of recklessness," she said, "but out of understanding. Humans can be trusted when courage, honesty, and compassion guide them. I ask for consideration, not punishment." The council members exchanged looks, some frowning, others intrigued. Rami realized the gravity of the situation. These beings were the ultimate authority over Zara's life, and they could end her freedom in an instant. One of the council members, older and stern, spoke. "You know the laws. Choosing a human is forbidden. This is not a matter of preference. It is a matter of duty. If you continue, exile will be your only option." Zara held Rami's hand firmly, her glowing eyes meeting his. "I understand the risk," she said, "but I will not abandon this connection. It is stronger than fear, stronger than rules. It is a promise to protect and honor both our worlds." Rami felt a deep sense of awe. Her courage was extraordinary. He squeezed her hand, wanting her to know that he would stand by her no matter the consequences. "You are not alone," he said. "I will face whatever comes as long as we are together." The council's chamber was silent for a moment, as if weighing her words. Then another member, younger and curious, spoke. "Humans have been observed. They are unpredictable, but some show ingenuity and bravery beyond measure. Perhaps this connection is not only a violation of law, but an opportunity. Show us why your choice matters." Zara nodded. "We have faced dangers together," she said. "We have survived storms, predators, and enforcers. Through courage, trust, and cooperation, we have achieved what many thought impossible. This human has proven that compassion and intelligence can bridge worlds, even when rules suggest separation." Rami felt a surge of confidence. He stepped forward slightly, speaking clearly. "I know I am human. I know my people have flaws. But I also know we can learn, adapt, and work together. Zara is not alone, and neither am I. By cooperating, humans and your people can protect each other and build something stronger than fear or laws alone." The chamber hummed with energy, a mixture of disapproval and curiosity. Some council members looked skeptical, but others seemed intrigued. One elder spoke, her voice low and measured. "Actions speak louder than words. If you claim trust and courage, prove it. Show that your bond benefits both species, not just yourselves." Zara turned to Rami, her glowing eyes softening. "We can do this," she whispered. "We can show them that our connection is not a threat but a bridge." Together they presented their case to the council. Zara demonstrated her knowledge of the planet's energy systems, showing how human ingenuity could stabilize regions affected by magnetic storms. Rami explained how his engineering skills could repair ancient machinery and optimize resources to prevent disasters that could harm both species. The council listened carefully. As they worked together, Rami and Zara's cooperation became visible in real time. Simple gestures, shared glances, and coordinated movements illustrated the strength of their bond. The chamber's energy shifted. Skepticism gave way to cautious respect. Yet the council was divided. Some members still spoke of exile and punishment. Rules exist for a reason, one said. Choosing a human can bring chaos. What guarantees can you offer that this alliance will succeed? Rami took a deep breath. There are no guarantees, he said honestly. But every action we have taken together has shown that trust, courage, and determination can overcome fear and danger. We have survived challenges that seemed impossible. We have worked together, and our successes are proof that humans and your people can create something stronger together than alone. The chamber was silent again. Then the elder who had first spoken nodded slowly. Your words are true, but the choice remains yours, Zara. You must decide, obey the law and sever this bond, or follow your courage and face the consequences. Choose wisely, for this choice will define your life and the future of both our worlds. Zara looked at Rami, feeling the weight of the decision pressing down on her. Her heart raced, her mind filled with the rules she had always followed and the connection she had come to cherish. She knew the cost of defiance could be exile, danger, or worse. Yet she also knew that letting go of Rami's hand would be to abandon trust, courage, and hope. Slowly, she raised her hand, gripping his tightly. I choose to follow courage, she said firmly. I choose to protect, to trust, and to stand together. I cannot abandon this bond. It is not just for me. It is for both our worlds. The chamber trembled with energy as the council processed her words. Some members whispered to each other, debating, while others watched silently. The tension was palpable, yet there was a sense that something unprecedented was happening. Rami felt relief and pride. He squeezed her hand, silently communicating that he would face any consequence alongside her. Together they had made a choice that defied fear, rules, and expectation. Then unexpectedly the chamber's energy shifted. A pulse of light spread across the crystalline walls, and the elder who had first spoken addressed the council. Perhaps this choice is not chaos but opportunity. They have demonstrated trust, courage, and cooperation. Perhaps the law must evolve to recognize what is right, not just what is forbidden. Murmurs spread through the council. Debate continued, but Rami and Zara remained united, their bond unbroken. They had faced the moment of judgment, and their courage had shone through. The council's leader finally spoke, her voice steady and measured. We will not punish this bond. It is unconventional, but the strength and cooperation you have demonstrated are undeniable. Let this be a beginning, not an end. Let humans and your people learn from each other, guided by trust and courage. Zara exhaled slowly, relief washing over her. She looked at Rami, her glowing eyes softening. We did it, she said. Rami smiled, feeling the warmth of victory and hope. We did it together. The council allowed them to leave, offering guidance and resources for their continued work. Rami realized that this victory was more than personal. It was a chance to create a bridge between two worlds, to show that courage and cooperation could overcome even the strictest rules. As they walked out of the chamber, hand in hand, the alien landscape stretched before them. The sky was painted with the colors of dawn, and the land below shimmered with possibility. Rami understood that this was only the beginning. Danger and challenges would continue, but now they had proven that humans and aliens could face them together. Zara looked at him, her glowing eyes reflecting the morning light. We have made a difference today, but our journey is not finished. There are still threats, still obstacles, still discoveries to make, and I cannot imagine facing them with anyone but you. Rami nodded. Then we will face them together. No matter what comes, we will stand side by side. The part ended with a sense of triumph and anticipation. They had faced the council, made the choice that defined their connection, and gained recognition for the strength of their bond. Yet the universe remained vast, unpredictable, and full of challenges. Together they were ready to confront whatever lay ahead, united by courage, trust, and hope. The morning sun rose over the alien sanctuary, casting its light across the crystalline walls and the glowing valley below. Rami and Zara had spent the night planning their next steps. The council had accepted their bond, but that was only the beginning. There were challenges ahead, and they knew they could not succeed alone. Cooperation between humans and aliens would require vision, courage, and persistence. Rami packed their equipment carefully while Zara studied the energy flows of the valley. Her glowing eyes scanned the terrain, reading patterns invisible to most humans. Together, They identified the areas most at risk from magnetic storms and unstable energy fields. If we can stabilize these regions, Zara said, we can prevent disasters that would harm both humans and my people. Rami nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on him. Then let's begin. We will need to work together, using both human ingenuity and your knowledge of the planet. They moved to the first area of concern, a cliffside where energy surges caused small earthquakes and rock slides. Rami examined the structures carefully, using sensors and tools to detect weak points. Zara guided him, showing which formations could be reinforced and which areas needed energy damping. Together they began a delicate process of stabilization, combining human technology with alien energy manipulation. Hours passed, and the work was demanding. Rami adjusted his equipment, sweating under the exertion, while Zara used her abilities to control energy flows. They communicated constantly, sharing ideas and coordinating movements. Even in the face of exhaustion, they remained focused, knowing that failure could have dire consequences for the sanctuary and surrounding areas. During a brief rest, Rami looked at Zara. "We make a good team," he said. Zara smiled faintly, a soft glow in her eyes. "Yes, courage and intelligence can complement each other. Humans have creativity that my people admire, and your persistence is remarkable." Their progress continued steadily, but challenges arose. A sudden surge in energy caused a section of the cliff to shake violently. Rami and Zara barely maintained their balance, but they worked quickly to stabilize the formation. Using a combination of human engineering devices and Zara's energy manipulation, they managed to secure the cliff, preventing a collapse that could have destroyed the valley. The success strengthened their confidence. They moved from one area to another, applying the same methods. Each victory demonstrated that humans and aliens could achieve far more together than alone. Rami felt proud, not only for his skills but also for the bond he shared with Zara. Every task required trust, communication, and understanding. Every challenge tested their cooperation, and every success reinforced the power of unity. As the sun reached its highest point, Rami noticed movement on the horizon. Figures approached, their silhouettes familiar. It was a group of aliens from Zara's people, not enforcers but allies who had observed the Council's decision and chosen to support the initiative. They carried tools, energy devices, and supplies ready to assist in the work. Zara greeted them, her voice glowing with warmth. "Thank you for joining us. Together we can make this sanctuary safe and show that cooperation is stronger than fear." The newcomers worked alongside Rami and Zara, following instructions and combining efforts seamlessly. Humans and aliens moved in harmony, each respecting the skills and knowledge of the other. Rami marveled at the speed and efficiency of their collaboration. It was a demonstration of what could be achieved when mistrust and fear were replaced by courage and cooperation. By evening, the main areas of the sanctuary had been stabilized. Energy flows were balanced, cliffs reinforced, and pathways secured. Rami and Zara stood together on a high ledge overlooking the glowing valley. The work was not finished, but a significant step had been taken. Zara turned to him, her glowing eyes reflecting pride and relief. "We have done much today, but the true test will be sharing this knowledge with both our peoples. They must see that humans and aliens can work together not as rivals but as partners." Rami nodded. "Then we will show them. Let this valley be a symbol of what can happen when courage and trust guide our actions." Over the next few days, Rami and Zara coordinated efforts between humans and supportive aliens. They set up systems to monitor energy flows, trained others in stabilization techniques, and created communication networks that allowed humans and aliens to share knowledge efficiently. Each day the sanctuary became stronger, safer, and more sustainable. Word of their success spread quickly. Other humans arrived to assist, bringing technology and tools, while additional aliens joined, curious to see the outcomes of this unprecedented collaboration. Tensions that had once existed between species began to ease. Skepticism gave way to admiration, and fear gave way to hope. Rami realized that this achievement was larger than himself or Zara. It was a demonstration of what humanity could offer the galaxy when courage, empathy, and determination were applied. He felt proud, not for personal glory, but for the potential of humans to build bridges where none existed before. One evening, As the twin suns set, casting the valley in hues of pink and gold, Rami and Zara sat together near the river of light. They watched as humans and aliens worked side by side, reinforcing pathways and tending to energy devices. The atmosphere was filled with quiet laughter, shared efforts, and mutual respect. Zara looked at him and spoke softly. "We have shown them today that courage and trust can overcome fear. But more importantly, we have shown them that hope is possible when two species work together." Rami squeezed her hand, feeling the warmth and strength that had carried them through every danger. "This is only the beginning. There will be challenges ahead, but as long as we face them together, we can achieve more than anyone imagined." As night fell, the valley glowed under the stars. Humans and aliens gathered around small lights, sharing stories, exchanging knowledge, and celebrating the progress they had made. Rami felt a sense of fulfillment unlike anything he had ever known. Their bond with Zara was no longer a secret or a threat. It was a beacon of hope, a symbol that courage, trust, and collaboration could unite worlds. In the days that followed, Rami and Zara continued their work, expanding the sanctuary and teaching others the techniques that had saved it. Their partnership became legendary among both humans and aliens. The sanctuary became a model for cooperation, demonstrating that fear and rules could be overcome when individuals acted with courage, compassion, and intelligence. Rami often reflected on how far they had come. From the moment he first met Zara, he had been drawn into a world of mystery, danger, and wonder. Every challenge had tested him, every choice had shaped him, and every moment had strengthened his connection with her. He realized that the universe was vast, full of unknowns, but it was also full of opportunities for humans to make a difference. Zara, too, reflected on the journey. She had faced the strictest laws of her people, the danger of enforcers, and the uncertainty of trusting an outsider. Yet she had discovered that courage and cooperation could transcend rules, and that bonds formed through trust could change hearts and minds. She looked at Rami with gratitude and pride, knowing that their journey had only been possible because of the strength they found in each other. Together, they stood at the edge of the valley one last time, holding hands as they looked toward the horizon. The twin suns rose, bathing the landscape in warm light. Below them, humans and aliens worked side by side, creating a sanctuary that symbolized unity, courage, and hope. Rami spoke softly. "We did not just survive. We built something that will last, something that can inspire others. Together, humans and aliens can face any challenge, overcome fear, and achieve more than anyone thought possible." Zara smiled, her glow brightening with emotion. "And we did it together. Our bond is no longer forbidden. It is a choice that has created hope for all our worlds." As the day began, Rami and Zara stepped forward, ready to continue their mission. Their story had begun with a forbidden connection, a hand held against rules, and a choice made in courage. It had led to unity, collaboration, and hope for two worlds. And as they moved forward hand in hand, they knew that this was only the beginning of the possibilities their bond could bring. The universe was vast, full of unknown challenges and new discoveries, but together they had proven that courage, trust, and intelligence could bridge worlds. They had shown that even when rules seemed unbreakable, hope and cooperation could create a future brighter than anyone had imagined. And so, Rami and Zara continued their journey. Their hands clasped, their hearts united, and their spirits strong. They had faced fear, danger, and uncertainty, and they had emerged not only victorious but as a symbol of what humanity could achieve in the galaxy. Their story was a testament to courage, trust, and the unyielding strength of connection.